Hello, everybody. This is Jason Roggasch. I just wanted to make a video today really quickly about this article that I read on The Intercept, and it's kind of disturbing, but it's something that's been going on since 9/11 and even before 9/11, but we're just going to focus on from 9/11 on how the FBI has been creating terrorists and actually going so far as to help them plan bombings, give them weapons, even filming martyrdom videos. And that's what this video is about. It's about a case of a gentleman who was basically from stem to stern given weapons, actually filmed by FBI informants and FBI agents doing a martyrdom video. The video was actually is available, I believe, on YouTube and as well on Vimeo. I'll leave links to both. What's interesting about this, the gentleman's name is, of course, Sami Osmakac, Samiosmakac, Osmakac. So Sami Osmakac was the guy that they set up. He's this mentally ill Muslim fellow. He's 25 years old, January 2012. This is when the video was done. Again, I'll leave links to all this. You can kind of read in detail what it's about. Human Rights Watch and others, but this is actually a fact. Out of the 500 defendants that have been prosecuted in federal terrorism-related cases in the decade after 9/11, 243 were involved with an FBI informant, while 158 additionally were the targets of sting operations. Of those cases, an informant or FBI undercover operative led 49 defendants in their terrorism plots. 50 people were led in terrorism plots, similar to the way Sami Osmakac was led in his. 49 defendants. In these cases, the FBI says paid informants and undercover agents are foiling attacks before they occur. But the evidence suggests, and a recent Human Rights Watch report on the subject illustrates, that the FBI isn't always nabbing would-be terrorists. In fact, so much as they're setting up mentally ill or economically depressed people to commit crimes they could never have accomplished on their own. At least in Osmakac's case, FBI agents seem to agree with the criticism, though they never intended for the admission to become public. In the Osmakac sting, the undercover FBI agent went by the pseudonym Amir Jones. He's the guy behind the camera in the martyrdom video. Amir, posing as a dealer who could provide weapons, wore a hidden recording device throughout the sting. The device picked up conversations. Now, we'd never figured this out unless an FBI made a mistake, of course. And the device picked up conversations, including apparently back at the FBI's Tampa Bay field office, a gated compound beneath the flight path of Tampa Bay International Airport. Of course, I'm reading an article here. Skip down. The unintentional recordings offer an exclusive look inside the FBI's counterterrorism sting and suggest that even in the eyes of the FBI agents involved, these stings aren't always the threatening figures they are made out to be, meaning they know what's going on and they keep doing it. I mean, why are they doing it? They have to ask your motivation for that. If they're not looking to stop people that are actually committing crimes, what are they doing? Well, first, I would say to justify their budgets, to justify their existence. So if they don't justify their existence, two, you can also say, well, we don't want anything to get through, so we want to set these guys up and get them off the street. That's ridiculous, too. That's even worse. I can't see a positive thing for putting mentally ill people in jail, if for any reason, but especially for terrorism, you're going to put them in jail forever. I mean, that's some sick fucking shit. Just to justify your existence as an organization, as a federal government entity. Jesus fucking Christ. And where's Obama on any of this? Where is any president ever on any of this shit? Or where is the Attorney General? Why isn't the Attorney General coming down like a fucking hammer and just prosecuting everybody? So I'll leave a link to this video below. I didn't want to make this too long because I'm not going to read the entire thing, but some of the stuff in this article is just shocking. The FBI said they wanted a Hollywood ending, which ended up being that he was arrested. He was supposed to take a bomb to an Irish bar. They said he was a threat. They said all this stuff, but they picked up these conversations accidentally, and it just shows how disgusting and how disturbing the FBI is. So, yes, another case in more detail if you choose to go read this article of how the FBI is creating terrorists. And I'll say this, I remember, does anybody remember the guy, the CIA guy who supposedly shot the TSA gentleman at LAX airport a couple of years ago? I mean, the guy's name was CIA, ha ha ha. But the FBI is the one who initiated that investigation, or the ones that covered that investigation. That was, we all saw that footage. You can watch it right now of a dummy being dragged out on a wheelchair, and they put him in an ambulance that doesn't leave. And that's not debunkable. That's not, you can't go look at that video and go, well, Jason, it's subjective whether that's a dummy being dragged around their court. They're doing a drill. And the FBI is fine with it because it represents terrorism. It's not Muslim terrorism like this video is about, like the person they're trying to set up, but it's terrorism, period. They want there to be when you kill people at airports, when you kill them across borders of states, when you kill them in federal buildings, when you kill in massive enough people, when you get that attention, the FBI comes in and investigates it. These hoaxes that people are always talking about, from Gabby Giffords to Sandy Hook, all of them are investigated at some point by the FBI, and the FBI puts out the final word in the report. Now, there are state police involved, of course, and there are police reports coming out from the states, of course. But the federal government seems to be the final say on whether or not these things are actually happening, the way they're happening. Can we trust that the federal government hasn't let some of their operations, the FBI, some of these terrorist operations that we didn't find out about? The only reason we found out about this one in the detail we did is because of these recordings, these accidental recordings on bugged agents and bugged people that were involved in the sting. What happens what happens to the ones that we don't know that about? The ones that are still secret, the ones that are going on, the ones that are completely clandestine, the ones that are involving shootings and murders. And I mean, what can we trust if we know for a fact, the ones we just know about, that there's 49 people that have been basically they have been given the weapons and information and tools to become terrorists by the federal government, by the FBI. It's pretty shocking if you start to analyze how much you can ever trust the FBI. And people say, well, that's an exaggeration, Jason, and you're conflating these events, and you're making... I don't know that I am, because if you look at the terrorism that's going on, what if it's being generated by the FBI to continue their modus operandi, to continue their power? They're willing to set up mentally ill people with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of man-hour and materials and equipment to get him prosecuted, so they can to keep their nut, to keep their bureaucratic lives, to get their budgets every year. That's what they're doing. And when you start to fucking think about that, when you start to analyze that, then it might not just be that simple. It might be that simple, and it's become institutionalized. And the bureaucracy, the wheels are such that it must create these events. It must blow these events out of proportion. It must make these events seem to be terrorism, when it's in fact the FBI's hidden hand in many cases behind it, ushering them around. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it very much. Just something to think about.